Data wrangling is preparing data before it can be leveraged for useful insights. And when it comes to data discovery, which is the core focus for this subdimension, we see two things happening at opposite ends of the spectrum. At the high end, you see this data wrangling, where data scientists are spending 50 to 80% of their days wrangling with the data for the business to try and prepare it or manipulate it before it can be used for useful insights. And on the other side, you see the business users, the business executives, the line of business leaders looking to leverage data in their own specific domains on a self-service type of model. So this is what we call data democratization. And these sort of initiatives are happening at opposing ends of the spectrum. And it is creating these islands of innovation and data silos linked to them. And they're not joined up. And this is something that where we think the CIO really needs to step in and to help to sort out. We have a suggestion that you focus on a concept called datafication. And this is all about integrating and extracting data with robust processes for the capture, curation, validation, retention, and disposal of that data as part of a view of the data value lifecycle that supports digital transformation. And critically, it is important to make that available to the business users so that they can take the necessary steps to drive that digital transformation, to develop that business value, and to generate the new revenue streams and higher returns that they're looking for. A really good example of this is Ericsson, which is using its digital capabilities to surface knowledge associated with physical objects by extracting the data, leveraging their digital competencies. And this is particularly important in the context of the carrier equipment space for telecom service providers to optimize network performance based on the data that they are deriving from that physical equipment. This is datafication in action. It's something that organizations, CIOs in particular, need to take a look at as part of the data discovery process. So the really good examples that we see in this space are in manufacturing, real estate, and to a certain extent financial services, where companies are looking to really blend the physical world, physical objects and processes, and to turn that into digital use cases to drive better business outcomes. So the call to action here for the CIO is to create an information governance framework that makes the business executives accountable for the data. So that ensure that the business has a sense of ownership of that data. Whether it involves the line of business executives or even the data scientists that are wrangling with the data on the high end. We also think that you should put in place an information architecture that can adapt to new business requirements, that also deal with that datafication concept that I highlighted earlier. And we are covering information architecture as a separate topic, as a follow-up blog and video, which I'd encourage you to take a look at. And lastly, I would suggest that you look at investments in new types of talent. So a data scientist to support the statisticians and the people that are wrangling with that data, or the chief data officer as a new type of role, which is important for data discovery. We've seen this being put in place at the Royal Bank of Scotland, where Graham Smith has had a huge focus on a new information governance framework that communicates more effectively to the business executives. And he actually uses 3 C's to try and make this more relevant. First of all, correct, which is about the hygiene work on the data quality that form the basic building blocks for the data strategy. Secondly, connect, making that data available for all sets of stakeholders to use. And then finally, the last C is create, which is the exciting part in terms of creating new types of customer insights and making that new type of capability available to the different sets of stakeholders. So this is a new role. Graham Smith is a good example, but I encourage you to have a look at that as an option in terms of your data discovery efforts. Finally, to assess where you are on your data discovery journey, IDC has developed a set of supporting methodologies, which helps you look at your existing maturity, but also where you want to get to and which areas you need to focus on to take you to the next level. So I'd encourage you to take a look at that as a follow-up to this discussion.